But the virus stops with every vaccinated person.
But this is a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
The conspiracy theory about this related to vaccine, you're right.
We had to really move at the speed of science.
Doctors are baffled. They're looking into it. They'll be back with their answers shortly. In the meantime, we all have to kind of sit around and figure out why the hell all these medical emergencies are happening. Why are people dropping dead for no reason? Why are there all these neurological problems, cardiovascular problems, all sorts of problems? A lot happening in kids, healthy athletic kids. But hey, don't fear, guys. Stay put. Wait for the doctors. They know the science. They know what's going on. They'll be back with answers shortly. But while we're waiting, just be rest assured that whatever it is, we know what it's not. Today, in the medical freedom movement, which let's be clear, let's be honest, guys, that it's been smaller and smaller and smaller ever since Trump came in. And on literally day one, day two, he's with Larry Ellison doing an mRNA AI deal with the biggest, now second richest person, Zionist, additionally Zionist on the planet, buying up all of our media companies. But that was, so the medical freedom movement was pretty much dead as far as inside the administration on day one. But fortunately, there were people on the outside that kept fighting. People like, and we've had her on the show, Dr. Mary Talley Bowden, not only kept speaking out against what Trump was doing and against what RFK Jr. wasn't doing, she went and put words into action, and she went ahead and ran for office. And we like it when we see that. We see action. We see actual action. A week ago, she ran in the Republican primary election. There she is, Mary Bowden. She was able to get in her as the representative of her precinct chairman of her district. She was able to win out at 56% of the vote, officially being anointed that position. And there she is, celebrating. The Texas establishment was wounded last night, not to the extent we would have liked, but significant progress was made. Congratulations to everyone, and for the big upset in the primary. And Jay Scott, our own Jay Scott, chimed in and said, congrats on your victory despite our limited resources at We the People National, which is obviously pushes anybody that is going against the two-party duopoly. So awesome that We the People was on board for this. We're proud to have supported your campaign by calling people into your district and tell them about your race and platform. Though we believe, and I'm glad you put this in there, that the Republican Party is corrupt beyond redemption because of how centralized power is in that party, we know that you are principled and a true fighter and will support you wherever you go, as long as you continue fighting for our medical freedom and for our constitutional rights. Good luck on making stuff happen, basically. That's what you basically said. Go for it. Just do it now, right? Well, exactly. I guess we were, let's see here. Yeah, so we have this then happened. We have Dr. Mary Talley Bowden went for reform immediately. She's only been in it for a week. And what was she able to pull off in 1 week? This. And this is posted by We the People Party. We saw this. This is incredible news. After winning her local election as the precinct chair in Texas, the COVID era hero, Dr. Mary Bowden, just got resolutions passed to ban mRNA, eliminate all vaccine mandates, and oppose Real ID as a surveillance and domestic passport system. How awesome is that? These resolutions will now advance to the Harris County Republican Party Senate District Convention on March 28th. If they succeed there, they'll advance to the Texas Republican Party State Convention. So you guys know it's a step process, but she's already put it into motion. Bowden is endorsed and supported by We the People Party. This is how we deliver real change. We take back political control in our communities first. And congratulations on your victory and the unanimous passage. It was unanimous passing of these resolutions. This is Mary herself, and this is her stance on moving forward and understanding that nobody in the executive branch, nobody in Trump's team gives a shit about vaccine. Let's just be clear. They don't give a shit about vaccine injured people. They don't care about any accountability moving forward. And they're just going to keep playing this game of little tiny mini wins when they're not really mini wins. It's still a revolving door. Here's Mary herself. And then we'll get your comment on this, Jay.
Very disappointed in current HHS. They basically swept the pandemic under the rug. It's an issue that has directly impacted every single American. No one was unscathed from the pandemic. And it is so important that we get some accountability, get the truth out.
And there it is. So she's putting words into action, and we don't see too much of this. We see a lot of still people waiting on the sidelines, waiting for Trump and RFK to do something when we know they're not. So obviously, congrats to Mary. Jay, your thoughts on this being that We the People Party, which you've been so actively assertive in and pushing candidates like Mary, where are you on this process? The fact that she went right into this and has got this thing moving immediately within the first week.
I'm truly excited that, you know, people in her county decided to embrace her. I'm extremely proud, you know, of this win. And, you know, even though, like I said, I personally don't believe in the Republican Party, and, you know, I have my doubts on whether or not those resolutions are going to make it all the way there. The fact is, let's think about what just happened. Mary Bowden is not shy about what she believes. And the moment you look her up, the first thing that's going to pop up is, oh, she's a COVID denier or she's a conspiracy theorist. But then when you look at her words, you realize, no, she just wants people empowered to make their own medical decisions, and she wants to get dangerous products off the market. And that means over 50% of the people in her county believe in that message, which is considered radical by the mainstream establishment, but I think is perfectly rational for, you know, like every human being. So that means now that the people really understand what's happening in her county. And I think that sentiment is getting more and more popular, you know, as we get, you know, throughout the country. And while it is true in some of these smaller elections, you have a little bit of a lower turnout, you know, and it may not represent the entire population. It's a huge victory. And the fact that, you know, this is going to be on record and people are going to have to vote either for or against it, it puts people in the hot seat. So now, the same way we had Kamala Harris advocating for Medicare for all until she became the VP nominee, and then as soon as she became the VP nominee, she instantly forgot about Medicare for all and no longer spoke about it. We have on record that the only time she's for it is when she doesn't have the power to do anything about it. And I'm sure that's the case with a lot of Republican politicians when it comes to medical freedom. And because of what Mary did, now we're at worst, we're going to get these people on record so we know exactly who we need to primary next and who we need to go after next. And in the best case scenario, we could see some actual substantial progress, you know, on this issue. So, you know, I'm extremely excited about what she's doing, because not only is she going after a core issue that affects all of us with medical freedom, she's also showing she's not a one-trick pony, and she's not only going to speak up about this issue, she's also tackling the centralized digital ID issue, which is a huge problem that's going to be coming because it's going to be weaponized against us. So, you know, I have all the respect in the world for her. And I think what people need to remember is Dr. Bowden supported Trump, you know, during the elections. After RFK switched over, she voted for Trump, and then she was willing to hold him accountable. And that's my plea to anybody who voted for Trump and to anybody with any form, you know, of reason left. Like, you should apply pressure to whoever's in the administration. Trusting the plan is the dumbest fucking shit like I've ever heard of, because politicians need to be pressured to do the right thing. You can pressure them nicely or you can pressure them not so nicely. And Dr. Bowden has been direct, and she has pressured them in a gentle way, but a direct way. And I think more people need to learn from that example. So if you are MAHA and you care about principles and you didn't just join some Trump fan club, then you should be doing exactly what Dr. Bowden did. So I'm extremely excited about that win. And, I'm happy that here at We the People, we were able to play a part in that victory by doing some calls in her district because, I don't think the Republican Party was too excited about her campaign. So, yeah, congrats, Dr. Bowden. We're rooting for you.
Yeah, and she represents the exact opposite of what Trump did. Again, I'm not just expression. I'm not just saying day one. It's literally day one. He had Ellison in within the first 24 hours. He swears in on the second term, and the very next morning, so within 24 hours, there's Larry Ellison, who's the exact opposite of what Mary Bowden is about. The exact opposite. Larry Ellison pushing mRNA, pushing AI, pushing surveillance, pushing digital ID, and then having this pre-crime detector, and we call it pre-crime, but he's saying, oh, pre-cancer detection. Yeah, the F right. Are you kidding? We're going to trust this Israeli spy, tech psychopath billionaire with pre-cancer detection with his AI shit and his chips inside us with his fucking mRNA. Yeah, right.
He wants to cure the cancer that he's causing, Matt. That's all. The increase that we're seeing from his shots, he has a solution for it. What a coincidence. How lucky is he? So
the thing was called, just so you guys know, it's a $500 billion deal. It's called Stargate. It comes from the tech Oracle, and Mary Bowden saw that on day one. She didn't wait. She didn't say, give it some time, guys. He just got there. God, why are you guys got to be so mean? He just give RFK some time, guys. God, it's only been a year. I mean, of course you have to start like 5 wars before you end 7, right? So it's like it's like that mind F is she's not playing that anymore. And if you guys are still on the fence about Trump, like Jay said, take a lesson from Dr. Mary Bowden. Don't be like your Democratic counterparts who had nothing to say for 4 years of demented Joe. Nothing to say. So be like the people speaking out now, Mary Bowden and others who saw from day one, or maybe it took them a month or 2 months, whatever it took you. You're like, this ain't happening. This ain't real. They don't care about us. They don't care about vaccine injured. They don't care about holding Pfizer and Moderna. By the way, the Pfizer deal happened, and RFK had to stand there and watch another a $50 billion deal where he got to invest. Oh, he got to invest his own money. Well, that's not bad. That's sticking it to Alfred Borda. No, it's not. Or whatever. No, it's not sticking it to him. You're saying, we're not going to arrest you for crimes against humanity. We're going to give you a chance to invest in Trump RX. Go ahead. Throw in $50 billion, just like Bill Gates made a $500 billion off of mRNA. So none of that is to help people who need help. None of that is to help people who are injured and voted for Trump because they wanted accountability and justice. They don't care about you. But Dr. Mary Bowden does, and I'm glad we, the people, can see that and understand that we elevate those people however they present themselves, whether it's third party, whether it's literally using we, the people, as a party, whether it's a combination of, or whether they insist on going through the Republican or Democratic Party. You're still going to give them a chance, because if they bring those principles, maybe, just maybe, they can do a little bit of good in their local arena. We know they're not going to do any good if they go to Washington, but maybe in the local arena, we're kind of seeing a little bit of thing happening. And more importantly than that, it's happening right away. She's not waiting. She did it on the first.
She came out swinging. You got to love it. You got to love it. And, real quick, I just hope people remember that Trump, if we were to get justice for what happened during COVID, Trump would be part of that RICO case. So either he snitches on everyone and says why he went along with the plan, or he gets held guilty as part of it. And that's why I personally never expected to get justice from Trump for what happened during COVID. At best, I was hoping, well, maybe there could be some sort of reversal, and maybe they do wind up banning the mRNA stuff moving forward and pulling the shots off the market. And I didn't think that was going to happen, but I thought that was best case scenario. And clearly we haven't gotten, at least that. So again, I want to remind everyone, stay loyal to principles, not to people, because people can be corrupted, people can be manipulated. And if you see that someone who you thought shared your principles are no longer abiding by that, then you don't have to tear them down. You don't have to, wish anything bad happens to them, but you got to be honest, like, about what's happening. And, Dr. Bowden is a great example of that. And if you listen to RFK during the campaign, Dr. Bowden was doing exactly what is doing right now, exactly what RFK said that we should do, like, if he gets into office. Like he said, I remember during the campaign before he joined MAHA, he said, when I get into office, I want you to pressure me and to hold me to everything I ran on. And politicians are not your friends. Like, you shouldn't support politicians. You should support issues. And that's exactly what Dr. Bowden is doing. And I believe that Dr. Bowden is principled, but, again, I am loyal to principles. I am not loyal to people. And I don't think she's going to change. But God forbid, if she did, I would have to call her out on that. But thankfully, she's shown that she doesn't succumb to the pressure. And, I wish her well. And I'm excited to see her in there. And I hope she keeps the energy going.
Absolutely.
So, congrats again, Dr. Bowden.
And we always got to end the We Know What It's Not segment with just a little unrelated news, just to keep you guys updated. None of this has anything to do with what we were talking about as far as helping vaccine injured people, helping people, have accountability for anything that happened in their family when they were forced to do something they didn't want to do. And family members have been suffering, and there's been no justice in that department. This is completely unrelated, but just wanted to announce these unfortunate situations for very young people. We got this this dude, I guess he's got a huge following. Apparently, Finian Garba announces his terminal stage of cancer at 28. And these happen so fast. Oh yeah, he's from the series Hope Street. Haven't watched it, but he shared the news. He was battling for 4 years. That means he was diagnosed with cancer 4 years ago. I wonder what happened I can't place it, but just randomly 4 years ago. Despite treatment, disease it progressed rapidly. The 28-year-old is now saying goodbye to his audience and wants to devote the remaining time to his family. And so, he was in the Hope Street. He posted on his Instagram the news. So that's very unfortunate. Oh, here's another one from a show. If you guys remember Will and Grace, actor Corey Parker, he dies after a cancer diagnosis. That's unfortunate. He was in that. Yeah, if you ever saw Will and Grace, his aunt confirmed he died Thursday at his home in Memphis. Parker underwent hip replacement last year after being diagnosed with an advanced stage for cancer. Unfortunately, the last update he shared was the radiation that was intended to reduce the pain from the cancer in my arm and in my hips did help to reduce the pain in those areas, but also impacted my esophagus, my ability to speak, and my overall orientation. He explained it was hard to text and he struggled to formulate speech. And he revealed that he had prepared for hospice care. So condolences to his family for that unexpected, rare diagnosis and unfortunate death. Here's an influencer, Rita Rodriguez de Silva, dead at 25, out of Brazil. She died at 25, reported a medical emergency. There was a tribute to her on Instagram. She was charming. Another friend said the loss was sudden, revealing they were in the studio together the day before, and they had even made plans. So, cause of death not revealed. Well, more specifically, cause of death not understood. Really, I don't think anyone understands it, or if they do, they don't want to say more than a medical emergency to someone who was perfectly healthy just the day before. Here's another one. This just happened. We heard about brain cancer battle. Tommy DeCarlo, Boston lead singer. If you guys remember the band Boston, brain cancer battle. I wonder. Okay, so he got the brain cancer. He died on March 9th, yesterday. Wow, after being diagnosed with brain cancer last September. Wow, that is such a quick turnaround, Jay. There's so many of these. I just they go on and on and on. I know this is hard to look at, but here's another one. This one you might find interesting, Jay. This one you might find interesting because this is a YouTuber. His name's Jeff Nippard. His fiance was also an influencer. The two of them did like health stuff together. So her name was Stephanie Buttermore. She died at 36 years old. And she's remember as Worth and Compassion, all this stuff. She did a lot of work on she had a PhD. She was a doctor, researched ovarian cancer. The statement concluded that to respect his right for privacy. In other words, I don't want to hear anyone talk about or ask questions about what happened because he's not going to reveal it. But what we know after just looking a little bit, she was obviously super young, healthy. You could tell from the picture. Also, they did a lot of fitness stuff, health stuff. But she was also famous for advocating for GMO jabs. So just to know that she advocated for big pharma, and she died suddenly in her sleep, heart stoppage. We don't really know much else, but that's being reported on Twitter. So there you go. And then we got these young athletes, a lot of young athletes, soccer team. Here's a boy who died suddenly in practice. 12-year-old boy, right during just out of nowhere. I don't know how many times you guys had you were on a sports team and you were just randomly practicing, whether it's soccer, basketball, football, whatever. I guess it's just a thing where kids they just drop dead in the middle of practice. I guess that's a thing now. He was perfectly healthy before he died, completely caught us off guard, said the coach. And the family said during practice last week, the 12-year-old said he was having trouble breathing before suddenly collapsing, went into cardiac arrest and died. This was a 12-year-old. One more for shits and giggles. But again, nothing funny about this. It's just shocking and hard to understand. But Joe Burrow's former national championship winning LSU teammate, he died at 27. He was part of a championship team in 2019. He was a wide receiver, LSU. He died at 27 after a long struggle with osteosarcoma, as confirmed by his mother. Well, how long was the struggle? Well, the struggle includes it's a type of bone cancer in children. Oh, he must have had this forever then. I guess its causes are unknown. So we don't know how he got it. He's been struggling with it for a long time. Well, apparently he was first diagnosed in 2022. Huh. What a year to be diagnosed. What a year. I thought they were trying to say he had it his whole life, but apparently it's been 4 years. I don't know what the significance of that is.
4 years ago, 2022. I've seen that number a few times in the segment.
It's weird how that number, it's always a young age. It's it's an athlete, and they've been recovering or trying to battle cancer for however long time. But yes, right around 2022. There you go. 10 weeks of he underwent 2 surgeries, 10 weeks of chemotherapy, and 7 weeks of radiation. And now he's dead. Condolences to everybody involved with any of those deaths. And we just wanted to just demonstrate that these are innocent people. Nobody deserves this. We know in Hollywood, we know in sports, we know what the conditions were, and we know what the measures that were in place, where people, if you wanted to play sports at the time, there was a certain thing you had to do. If you wanted to participate in the entertainment industry, be on a TV show here or in the UK, there's certain things you had to do. So who knows? Probably completely unrelated. Again, we have to wait for the doctors to find out what's really happening. I'm sure they're still working on it now, and they'll come back with answers for us soon. That's where I'm at, Jay. I don't know if you have any final thoughts on that. I know that was a lot there, but hey, I just want to remind people these incidences are happening, and they're happening every day.
Yeah, and this isn't to say that nobody young ever had these issues before. They did exist, but it simply wasn't at this level. All the numbers show the same thing, that there's an uptick in cancers in young people. There's an uptick in there's also an uptick in in unexplained deaths and in excess deaths and like heart disease and blood clots. And we have established mechanisms that and we're not saying it is causing it, YouTube, but there are hypothetical mechanisms that have been proposed that could be driving some of these phenomena, coming out of some of the mRNA products that were distributed over the past few years. So we're not making any claims on what happened to these people, but what we are saying is that there's reason to believe that the medical intervention that was given in response to COVID could have some unintended consequences that directly lead to what we're seeing just now. So Mary Bowden has it right. We need to demand justice.
Yeah.
We can't just ask for it to stop moving forward, because if we don't demand justice, they're going to continue with the same playbook, because their ultimate goal is control. Their ultimate goal is power. And we need justice for what's happened already, which will also prevent them from taking away even more of our liberty.